Hello everyone, and welcome back to Behind the Bulletin. Today, we're exploring a moment that has completely shaken fans of both K-drama and K-pop, a moment so unexpected, so charming, and so full of tension that even Yoona herself couldn't hide a reaction. It all began when Lee Chae was asked about dating older women, and his unexpected, confident answer instantly made Yoona see him in a very different light. Was it just a casual comment? Or was there something more behind his words? Stay with us, because we're diving into the full story, right now. No one expected a simple interview question to ignite one of the most intense waves of speculation and emotional chaos in the Korean entertainment world. But when Lee Chae, rising actor, soft-spoken heartthrob, and the new face of romantic youth dramas, sat down for what was supposed to be a light, cheerful promotional appearance, something far more electrifying happened. Something that would make Yoona, veteran star and the nation's graceful sweetheart, him with an expression no one had ever captured before. It began quietly, almost too quietly. Studio lights warmed the air with their usual glow. Staff moved around with practiced ease. Yoona, invited as a surprise guest for a crossover segment, had just taken her seat beside him, her presence both comfortable and radiant, as if she belonged there from the beginning. Fans watching live had already begun flooding the comments section with shocked emojis, disbelief, delight, and 1,000 variations of visual explosion. But beneath all the excitement, a subtle tension simmered, the kind that sparks when two people who seem impossibly different somehow fit into the same frame too naturally. Then the host made the mistake, or perhaps the intentional strike, that changed everything. "So, Chaemin SSI," she said with a mischievous smile. "What do you think about dating someone older than you? Any thoughts? Any experiences?" The studio chuckled. Yoona smiled politely, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. She didn't look at him, not yet, but a tiny tightening around her lips hinted at curiosity she couldn't hide. Lee Chae blinked once, twice, clearly caught off guard. His usual calm, boyish confidence flickered for a moment, like a flame swaying under a sudden gust of wind. The host waited. The staff waited. The world watching live leaned in. And then he laughed, not awkwardly, not shyly, but with a low, warm tone that made even the cameras feel too quiet. "I don't really think age matters," he said at first, a safe answer. But then he leaned slightly forward, his expression changing, deeper, more honest, more revealing, and continued. "Actually, I think dating someone older might be good for me." Yoona's head turned slightly. Fans watching replayed the moment instantly. The studio atmosphere shifted. The playful tone dissolved, replaced with a gravity no one anticipated. Chae continued, voice smooth but charged with meaning. "I admire women who are mature. Someone who knows who she is. Someone confident, independent, someone I can learn from." Yoona's eyes widened just slightly, subtle, but unmistakable. "And," he added, a soft, most dangerous smile touching his lips, "I don't think age makes love any less real. If anything, makes it more honest." Silence. Thick, electric, heavy enough to bend the air between them. The host laughed nervously. "Ah, so you're saying age gap relationships are fine?" He nodded. "If the connection is real, why not? And, would you date someone significantly older?" Chae didn't hesitate. "Yes." A single word. Firm. Sure. Unshaken. That was the exact second Yoona's expression changed, visibly, undeniably. Her lips parted in surprise, and for a moment, she forgot the cameras, the staff, the audience. All she could do was look at him. Not as a son be watching a junior speak politely, but as a woman suddenly reevaluating someone she thought she already understood. Chae looked back, and for half a heartbeat, something unspoken pulsed between them. Interest? Challenge? Recognition? No one could quite define it. Fans caught it instantly. Comments exploded. "Why did Yoona look at him like that? This is not acting, I swear. What is this tension? Chae, you did not just say that in front of Yoona, OMG." The host tried to cut the tension with laughter. "Wow, Yoona SSI. Did you expect that answer?" Yoona inhaled softly before speaking, her voice more delicate than usual. "He's surprisingly mature." Her cheeks colored, a rare sight. Staff exchanged glances. Cameras zoomed in slightly, sensing the shift. And Lee Chae perhaps noticing her reaction, smiled shyly. In the back of his neck. "I just said what I feel," he murmured. Came the second strike. "Chaemin SSI," the host said, sensing gold. "What about dating someone famous? Someone well-known? Unadmired by many? Would that intimidate you?" Before anyone could intervene. "No," he answered immediately. "Not if I already admire her." Something sharp, warm, and shockingly vulnerable flickered in his eyes. Yoona's breath hitched. The host froze. The staff froze. The world froze. Was he talking about her? The energy between them shifted yet again, a deeper, more dangerous pull. As if every word peeled back another layer neither meant to reveal. Yoona looked away, flustered for the first time in years of public life. Her fingers fumbled with the edge of her sleeve. But the host wasn't finished. "What about Yoona SSI specifically? Does someone like her intimidate you?" The room exploded in gasps. Yoona's mouth opened slightly to interrupt. But Chaemin spoke first. "Oh," he said softly. Almost intimately. "It's exactly the kind of woman I'd want in my life." Studio fell dead silent. Yoona stared at him, really stared, as if she couldn't fully process what she'd just heard. And in that moment, something shifted inside her. Admiration. Not respect. Something deeper. Something quieter. Something startling. As if she saw him, truly saw him, not as the younger actor who admired her, but as a man standing confidently in front of her. Afraid to express what he felt. The interview ended, but the story didn't. Because once the cameras stopped rolling, once the applause faded, once the host thanked the staff, Yoona found herself glancing at Chaemin again, trying to decipher the warmth still lingering in his expression. And Chaemin, bold for once, eyes steady, held her gaze just a second too long. It was enough. Enough to shift the axis of their dynamic. Enough to shake her calm facade. To make her realize that the junior she once saw as gentle and polite might not be a junior at all. He might be a man she hadn't been prepared to notice. But the real shock came hours later, when a behind-the-scenes clip, the one no one was supposed to upload, leaked online. A clip where Yoona and Chaemin spoke softly off-camera, where he said something that sent the fandom spiraling into utter chaos. And that explosive moment is where everything truly began. Behind-the-scenes clip leaked at 2:11 a.m. No watermark. No logo. Just a shaky handheld recording captured by someone on set, someone who clearly knew that what they were filming would ignite the internet like gasoline. The video began innocently. Yoona and Chaemin were off to the side of the stage. Microphones removed. Makeup artists hovering nearby. Staff walked past them carrying cables and script papers. Everything looked normal. Till it didn't. The cameraman zoomed in slightly. Sensing something invisible happening between them, Yoona stood with her arms gently folded. Her expression thoughtful, but there was an unmistakable softness in her eyes, something fragile. Something conflicted. Something she almost never let slip in public. Chaemin stood across from her, hands in his pockets. Posture relaxed but alert, as though every muscle was quietly tuned to her presence. Then he spoke first. "Sunbi." His voice was low, careful, almost hesitant. Yoona glanced up. He hesitated, searching for words. "Earlier. I didn't mean to make things uncomfortable." She blinked, surprised. "Uncomfortable? Why would it be uncomfortable?" Looked away for a moment, then back at her. "Because I said honest things." Silence stretched between them, slow, warm, unexpectedly intimate. Yoona lowered her gaze slightly. "Honesty isn't bad." Chaemin took a step closer without thinking. Just one step. Small but unmistakable. "But did it bother you?" Her lips parted. "No. It didn't." The cameraman zoomed in again. Every viewer who watched the leaked video later said the same thing. That moment didn't feel like a senior talking to a junior. It felt like something else. Something bigger. Something shifting. Chaemin exhaled softly. "I was scared it might have crossed a line." "You didn't," she replied. Her voice almost whisper soft. "You were surprisingly sincere." A faint smile touched the corner of his mouth. "I meant every word." Yoona froze. There was no laughter, no joke. No attempt to soften the line. He meant it. All of it. The admiration. The boldness. The idea that age didn't scare him, but maybe she did, in the best way. Yoona's breath hitched. Camera caught the exact second her composure broke, Just slightly. But enough. Her eyes softened. Trembled in the beginning of an involuntary smile. She quickly looked down, almost shy. Yoona. Shy. First time in years. And then came the moment that sent the entire fandom into an emotional meltdown. Chaemin's voice dropped to a near whisper, deep and steady. You know, age isn't the reason I admire you. I looked up sharply. Then what is? And with no cameras rolling, reporters watching, and no script forcing politeness, answered in the most honest voice he'd ever used in his career. You carry yourself with strength, he said. With grace. Even when you're tired. Even when you're hurting. You still shine. Yoona stared at him, stunned, speechless. He continued softly, that kind of woman is rare. The silence that followed was seismic. Throat tightened. She looked away, blinking rapidly, trying to keep her emotions from spilling out. Chaemin, she whispered. He stepped closer. Too close. Close enough that the tension could be felt even through a screen. Don't worry, he said gently. I'm not asking for anything. Up, meeting his gaze. I just wanted you to know the truth. Breath shook. The leaked video ended there, abruptly, perfectly. As if the universe knew that cutting off at that exact second would send fans into unstoppable chaos. And it did. By morning, hashtags exploded across the internet. Chaemin. Unexpected chemistry. Behind the scenes leak. Age is just a number. Chaemin confession. Fan edits flooded every platform. Lists dissected every micro-expression. Even professional reporters hesitated to comment because the video didn't show PR fluff, it showed something real. But the real shockwave came not from fans. From Yoona herself. Just 3 hours after the clip went viral. She posted on her social media account, a simple photo of a sunrise with one caption. Honesty changes everything. No tag. No explanation. But everyone already knew. Lee Chaemin saw the post immediately. He didn't comment publicly. But staff later confirmed he stared at the caption for a long time. Phone resting against his lips, eyes unreadable. An hour later, he posted his own message. A single line. I don't regret anything I said. The entertainment world ignited like wildfire. Insiders began whispering. Brands started calling. Producers watched the chaos with hungry eyes. And fans didn't know whether they were witnessing the beginning of a love story, or the rise of a scandal that would change everything. One thing was certain. That interview had not been an accident. Chemistry had not been imagined. And Yoona, elegant, composed, unreachable Yoona, now saw Lee Chaemin in a way she never had before. Not as a junior. Not as a rising star. But as a man capable of shaking her heart. And the unexpected question that began as a playful tease had become the moment destiny cracked open. They faded and the whirlwind of reaction surged across every corner of the internet. One truth lingered beneath all the noise. A single honest moment had changed everything. What began as a harmless interview question had unraveled into something far more powerful, a shift neither Yoona nor Lee Chaemin had anticipated. Their quiet exchange, guarded words, their accidental vulnerability all hinted at a connection impossible to ignore, not just for fans, but for themselves. This unexpected spark rose into something more or fades into rumor. The world has already seen the beginning of a story neither of them can easily run from. Thank you for joining us through every moment, every heartbeat, and every twist of this emotional journey. Thank you for watching until the very end and for sharing in the excitement of this unforgettable encounter. And as always, thank you for being a part of Behind the Bulletin. Stay tuned for more stories, more truth. Moments that spark the imagination. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and stay with us.